Charles Fuentes is a candidate for Texas House 119. He is running against Democratic incumbent Liz Campos. Welcome, Charles. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're running for office?
Thank you, Nancy. I'm Charles Fuentes. I am come from a labor background. I've worked the past 9 years as the legislative director for the Communication Workers of America here in San Antonio. So through that term, I've secured broadband access for the city of San Antonio, the expansion of internet access through fiber optic communications, which has been a big thing, especially from what we saw during the pandemic. Kids, the elderly, everyone really suffered when they didn't have an internet connection, couldn't connect to telehealth, couldn't connect to their education, to their job. I saw that was a major issue and one that we were specifically suited to answer. So through that work, I've also become very knowledgeable in policy and policy advocacy, as well as candidate advocacy. The entire career that I've had, I've been advocating for worker rights, whether you're a part of a union or not. The way we see it is if we secure these rights for all workers, that's one less thing at the bargaining table. And on the note of bargaining, I've been involved in quite a few bargaining agreements where I was up against a formidable opponent, but I don't let that stop me. What drives me forward is the need to serve and that passion to serve and find the greatest outcome for everyone involved. I'm used to making hard decisions, hard calls. And I know what a good concession versus a bad concession looks like after running into them quite a few times. So I'm running really to improve the status of the district. There's been several issues of which I can get to here in a little bit, but I'm running to bring that working class voice to the state legislature. I'm happy to also announce that I have the endorsement of the Texas AFL-CIO COPE, as well as the San Antonio Central Labor Council and the Stonewall Democrats.
Wonderful. So, can you tell us a little bit about what the top three issues are for your district?
So, in analyzing the district and living in the district, what I found is that there is a lack of access to healthcare. In addition to healthcare not being affordable, folks have to travel pretty far to get acute and critical care. And that's not something that the folks of my district can really wait on. Through analyzing the data, we found that this district is extremely in a higher percentage of elderly constituents, 65 and older, some with disabilities, requiring constant care. And really, the closest medical center is on the opposite end of town. We recently had a large hospital closed down on the south side, closer to the district, but still some ways away. And with the closure of that, we now have a healthcare desert. My other issue that I would like to address is public school funding. So I have worked in concert with the San Antonio AFL-CIO and brothers and sisters of that organization to support the teachers and their call for saying no to vouchers. Now, I believe that charter schools do have a place in the ecosystem, but at this current in this current method of funding, it's not feasible. We should not be robbing, the taxpayers to pay for private school funding. If you want to go to those institutions, you have to make those sacrifices. And I know plenty of friends and family members who have been willing to make those sacrifices to pursue that choice. Now, for the rest of us who work day in, day out and cannot make that sacrifice, we should not have a educational system that's tiered, an educational system that is underfunded and set up to fail. So I am pursuing full funding for public schools, their staff, and teachers. Have half of my family are teachers themselves. My last issue, which I would like to address, is bringing back home rule, or rolling back the Death Star bill. Through our issue-based advocacy, we found that there is, when there's state preemption, that can kill a lot of progressive uh, wins. And these are things that the community says we want. And I believe that communities should be able to tailor their laws to suit the needs of the individuals in those, I'm sorry, the individuals in those communities. And this current law prohibits that. So that would be just one of the first steps in restoring that home rule and giving workers and constituents greater say over what goes on in their communities.
I agree with a lot of what you had to say there. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. So can you tell us a little bit more about where we can find you and how best we can support you right now?
Of course. So I am actually primarily on TikTok, and I can grab that handle for you. Um, And other than that, I do have a website. It's vote the number four Fuentes FUENTES.com. That will have all of my links to contribute, and of course, contributions go a long way. I've come from the volunteer based side of things, and I know time can be just as valuable. So we are having a volunteer block walk this Saturday out of the CWA Union Hall at 1027 North St. Mary's, and that's gonna happen at 9 a.m. We're gonna grab some tacos, talk about the race, and then head out and knock on doors and see if we can get in contact with some voters. And that TikTok handle is at c.fuentes for the number Texas. So try and do some regular videos there, updates on the campaign, updates on the issues. And I really appreciate any kind of interaction coming through there. But thank you
Oh,
for your time and for this forum.
yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.